Hello, I'm Nancy Glynn. I'm a member of PWN Munich, and I'll spend a few minutes today to introduce you to the practice of mindfulness as it relates to leadership. The practice is growing and brings an incredible value to all of us in work and in life, and I'll take you through a few practices today and explain a bit of the background. I myself work with senior leaders, both executives and teams, and the work that I do is to bring them to higher levels of performance, but in very sustainable ways. That means working more authentically and also with greater humanity. The practice of mindfulness is something that I came to as an executive coach, having had a previous career first for about 18 years in business, leading at senior levels and as a member of an executive committee or boards for a number of different companies, global responsibilities, and based in different countries. Previous to that, I worked as a ballet soloist for 10 years, and as a dancer, we had many centering activities that allowed us to manage the stress of performing and the highly stressful life as a dancer. When I entered business, I found that one had different types of stresses, but stresses nonetheless. And in today's world, the pace that we all keep up and the demands of working in the 24/7 international world, combined with the demands that we put on ourselves, also leads one to seek practices to find a type of centering. Mindfulness is a practice in which actually you are in the present moment, attentive to the present moment, without emotional reactivity or volatility. And it's something that actually becomes naturally to all of us. It's just something that we typically have not learned through school or work or our studies. In a few moments, I'm actually going to take you through a practice and perhaps first just give you a bit of background of how it came about to enter the leadership field and also what are some of the benefits that it brings to you. Mindfulness was developed most substantively by John Kabat-Zinn in the United States, working at the University of Massachusetts at the Medical Center. And this is over 30 years ago, some 35 years ago. John was himself a molecular biologist, believed very much in the marriage of art and science, and in developing mindfulness for people with a number of different types of difficulties or disorders, he also accompanied the practices of mindfulness with large-scale research studies. And in fact, today we know that if a person has a mindfulness practice on a daily basis, recommended is 20 minutes, but less already brings a great benefit. A regular practice leads to a number of changes in the brain, in fact, a rewiring of our brains. And these include things such as much better emotional regulation, an ability to see things more as they are rather than as we wish they would be, which means we have better perspective taking, we have better powers of perception. Some of the other advantages include, in fact, an increase in the immune system activity through the regular practice of mindfulness. And this was shown in studies with a group of engineers in Minnesota, who after a series of 8 weeks and 20 minutes of practice per day had an increased immune system activity. For us in business and as women in business, there's a great value on a number of fronts. For one is it gives us greater attentive capacity and ability to focus on what is really important. In addition, it allows us to regulate our emotions. In my work with PWN, I also am on the advisory board of the Engaging Men initiatives, and I know, having worked in very male environments, that the ability to act authentically as a woman and to bring the benefits and the qualities that I can bring in a more even way, in a way that I can interact with others very productively, is of huge value. So before I go on, let's try a mindful practice together. A little bit of an introduction, something very important. What we're going to do is we're simply going to bring our attention to our breath, and I'll guide you through the practice. But most importantly, and this is actually what freed me to be able to establish a daily mindful practice, is that when we choose to attend to our breath or to focus on our breath or anything else in a mindful practice, in fact what will happen is our mind will wander, usually after a few seconds. And that's perfectly all right. That's what minds do. Our minds wander. In the practice of mindfulness, what we do is when our minds wander, we simply notice. We notice where it's gone, and then without any judgment, we very gently but firmly bring it back to whatever we're attending to at that moment, which in this case will be our breath. So in order to practice mindfulness, you can do this at your desk quite easily. What you want to do is you want to place your 2 feet on the floor and sit in a comfortable position, but you back away from the chair so that you're holding yourself in a dignified posture. No need to feel stiff, but just straight. And you also want to hold your chin also straight, so you wouldn't want to bow your head, but really allow your whole body to be dignified. And I'm going to set a timer in a few moments. With your hands, you can simply place your hands on your lap or fold them in front of you, wherever you're comfortable, whatever's comfortable for you. And then I'll start the timer and I'll start guiding you, and I'll do the practice together with you. So I'm going to set it for just a few minutes so you can see the benefits in a very short time. I just use my iPhone or BlackBerry, whichever I have with me, and just start the timer. So if you're ready, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that. And if not, you can just look at something on the floor in front of you, nothing distracting and not focused on anything. And then when you're ready, bringing your attention to the 2 feet on the floor. Noticing whatever you're sensing. Contact with the floor, perhaps temperature, whatever's there. And then when you're ready and when it's comfortable for you, moving your attention up your legs to where your body meets the chair. Once again, just noticing whatever is present. Contact, perhaps. Just noticing. And then bring your attention up your back to your shoulders, paying attention to whatever might be happening there. And when you're ready, bringing your attention to your breath. Noticing your breath wherever it's most present for you. That may be the air moving in and out of your nostrils. It might be the rising and falling of your chest. Or you may feel your breath most at your diaphragm, wherever it's best for you, and just placing your attention there. The in-breath and the out-breath, just at your own rhythm. No need to make the breath happen, just allowing it to happen. And if your mind wanders, that's okay. Just notice where it's gone. And then gently but firmly bringing your attention back to your breath. An in-breath and the out-breath. Noticing the sensations that accompany the breath for you. Nowhere to go, nothing to do at this moment, just being attentive to the breath. And as you hear the sound of the harp, open your eyes whenever that's comfortable for you. And then taking in, again, the room around you, wherever you may be right now. So, as you can see, that actually was only a 3-minute practice, which is quite interesting to just take a moment or two to notice how that simple practice might have changed things for you, or what you noticed during the practice. Most people who do this practice for the first time actually notice things that they were completely unconscious of, perhaps the way they were feeling. perhaps an emotional feeling, perhaps a physical feeling. Or one might notice that one is perhaps very distracted, or that the mind is racing. And by doing these practices on a regular basis, you'll find that just that pause, just that moment of attending to the present, is actually very restorative. We're not looking for any particular outcome, so we don't go into the practice saying, I need to calm down, or I want to have inspiration. It really is just being present for a few minutes, attending to one thing, such as the breath, and then noticing what is. So the practice of mindfulness is growing in its leadership applications, and many leaders actually are developing regular practices, which may include the breath. There may be many others. You can certainly find out more through the PWN website, and you're also most welcome to look at my website or to contact me personally. I'll give you the details in a few moments. What I wanted to mention is that with the really challenging world that we live in, it's really a wonderful thing to know that there is somewhere that we can go to at any time, at any point in the day, and touch base with actually what is. And of course, the beauty of using the breath is that we have that with us wherever we may be, even if we're perhaps sitting on a plane or commuting, not driving of course, then you have to be attentive to the driving. And really being able to settle in. And I can only say that if you find a way, which is very attainable and very accessible, to build small practices into your day, you will no doubt begin to enjoy some of the benefits that it brings. So if you'd like to contact me, please do email me at nancy.glynn@denalia.com. I'll ask Rebecca, who will be helping with this video, to perhaps place a little note below the video so that you can reach me. And if you feel like trying one of these practices, I'd be happy to send you also a link to a download. And with PWN, we will certainly be providing more information and more opportunities to attend some introductory sessions in different parts of Europe. So I wish you well, I wish you enjoyment, and I wish you a mindful day. Thank you.